Hey comments, welcome to another day of learning. This is the second in a series of videos for the plus pages of the week 7 packet. So I am looking at this page right now. This is page 3 of the Math Plus section for week 7. And if you were in honors, this is a review. If you are tuning in from another class, good on you for pushing yourselves. This is going to be a little bit new, all right? But the good news is this is going to give you a head start for next year, all right? So let me talk through all these things. Real quick, mean is the average, okay? Mean is where you add everything together and divide it by the number of numbers, okay? Sometimes teachers will say, I'm mean because I'm making you add it all up, okay? Add it all up and then divide it by the number of numbers, okay? Mean absolute deviation, let's come back to that. Median is the middle number. So if you go through your data set, write it from least to greatest, find the middle number. Now if there's two numbers in the middle, you find the average of those two numbers. Okay? The mode is the number that happens the most. All right? So if you find a number that happens more than any other, that's the mode. Okay, mean absolute deviation is where you calculate all the numbers to find the mean, and then you find how far each number is from that mean, that middle number, or that average, okay? And you keep track of how far each of those numbers is from that number, all right? Then you add all those up and divide it by the number of numbers. And then that is your mean absolute deviation. It's a lot, okay? Each little step is not too challenging. It's just keeping track of all that information, okay? And then IQR, interquartile range, is kind of finding the median of the median. Okay, if you find the median here, then you find the middle of the middle, the first middle and the second middle. And it's between those two numbers is your interquartile range. Okay, that was quick. All right, we'll kind of look at it again as we go through a problem. Okay, so for each given data set, calculate the mean, median, and mode. Okay, so the data are shown, so we want to add all these together and then divide it by the number of numbers. All right, so let me pull up my calculator. I'm going to slide it over here so we can actually see what we're doing. Okay, so I'm going to add 0. It's not going to change anything, so really we didn't have to do that. Okay, I'm going to actually slide this down so you can keep track here of what I'm adding. And then I'm going to add 3, and then I'm going to add 5, and then 6, and then 8, then 12, and then 12 again, and then 15. I'm going to hit enter to find my grand total. So I have 61 is my total number. And then I'm going to divide that number by the number of numbers. Okay? Because average mean means find all the numbers together. Okay? So 61 divided by, well, let's count how many numbers there are. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I'm going to divide that by 8. And I get 7.6. I'm going to go with that. So number 1, my mean is 7.6. All right, my median is, let's see, I'm going to work my way in. So I'm going to go, I kind of need 2 cursors here. So I'm going to go in from the side. You know what, I'm going to write these numbers out. 0, 3, 5, 6, 8, 12, 12, and 15. Okay, that way you can see what I'm actually doing here. So I'm going to give you a closer look here. So I'll count in, okay? So I'm going to work my way into the middle. And then look at that. The middle numbers are going to be between these two. Okay, so I need to find the average of 6 and 8. What number is in between 6 and 8? Well, I can do one of two things. I can just kind of use my reasoning, in this case, 7, right? But if I didn't want to do that, and I wanted to be more exact, or if it was a harder situation, I could just, in my calculator, do 6 plus 8, and then divide that by 2, since there's 2 numbers, and I get the same answer. So my median is 7. All right, my mode. Okay, what's my mode in this case? Well, look for a number that happens the most. Okay, the only repeat we have right here is with 12. Okay, that would be my mode. So my mode, number that happens the most, is 12. Okay? And mean absolute deviation. Okay, here's the work. All right, well, we already have our mean. Okay, we found it as 7.6. Okay, so what we need to do is figure out how far each of these numbers is from 7.6. Okay, so I might go ahead and do a little bit of a chart. 0, 3, 5, 6, 8, 12, 12, and 15. Okay, so that's my number. Okay, this is my deviation. All right, how far is 0 from 7.6? Okay, well, 0 is 7.6 away from 7.6. So I'm going to put 7.6. Okay, 3, how far is 3 from 7.6? Well, 7.6 minus 3 would be 4.6. Okay, how far is 5 away from 7.6? It would be 2.6. Now, it doesn't matter which direction. Okay, that's where that absolute comes in. Absolute value just means how far is a number from 0. Okay, how far away is it? So 6 from 7.6 is 1.6. 8 from 7.6 is 0.4. 12 is 4.4, I think. When in doubt, calculate it out. There we go. 12. Oops. 12 minus, what did I say? 7.6. I was right. And then 4.4. And while I have it open, 7.4. Okay, so here we are. We've got our deviations, okay, and technically I should say absolute deviations, all right, of how far each of these numbers is from the middle, the mean, okay? Now what I need to do is add them all up, okay? So we're going to get our calculator going again, and I need to add each one of those. All right, so bring out the calculator. I'm going to add each of these numbers. Okay, we're not adding the original numbers, we're adding how far they were from the mean. Okay, so first number I'm going to put in here is 7.6 plus, and then I'm going to bring this down again so you can kind of see the string, 4.6. 2.6, 1.6, 0.4, 4.4, 4.4, 7.4. Okay? So my total is 33. But I don't want my total, I want the average. And so to find the average, after I add them all together, I need to divide by the number of numbers. And there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I wanted to take my 33 and divide it by 8, and I get 4.125. Okay, so about 4.21, yeah, 4.1. So my mean absolute deviation is 4.125. And they really don't tell us how far to round this. Okay, so we'll just go with that. All right, so that's the idea. Now on this, guys, it looks like most of these on this line are in order, but these are not. So the first thing I would do is put them in order from least to greatest. That's going to help you a lot. Okay, next. All right, if that wasn't enough, next, excuse me, box and whisker plots. Okay, this is where the IQR comes in. Okay, box and whisker plots, excuse me, takes the median, the maximum, or the minimum, and the maximum, and then the middle of the middles. Okay, so we call this a 5-number summary. Okay, we want to find the 5-number summary of our data set. So we want to take a look at this data and write it from least to greatest. Okay, so I'm going to take 10 and 8 and 7 and all that. I'm going to write it from least to greatest. So I'm going to take 1, and then it looks like I have a 2. Normally I would have this on paper so I could cross them out as I go. 3, excuse me. 3, 5 is my next number. I have 1, 2, 3 of those. So I'm going to pause it, save time, and then I'll come back when I get all the numbers done. All right, so here I have my numbers listed from least to greatest. Now, just to double check, I count how many numbers I have. I believe there are 16. And so I'm going to double check to make sure that's the number I should have. Okay, so I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Uh-oh, I'm missing a number. Oh, I think I see it. 6. I don't have a 6 in my list, so I need to add that. Okay, so that's always a good thing to do is double check your list, make sure you have the right number of numbers. So I'm going to put that in here, squeeze it in. Okay, now I'm ready to find first the median. So for 5-number summary, I need the median. Okay, I need my minimum, my maximum. Okay, so my minimum is easy to see because it's the smallest number. Okay, since I put them in least to greatest, the first number is going to be my minimum. My maximum is going to be my last number, 10. And then I need to find my median. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 7 is my median. Okay, so that was my middle number. I better circle that. Okay, and here's why I want to circle it. Because now I want to find my Q1 and my Q3. Okay? Let's double check, make sure I'm using the same language that they are. Great. Okay? Now I notice I'm putting them in a little bit different order. Okay, but you can get the idea, right? Based on this. Okay, so back to full screen here. Q1, what I need to do is figure out what's in between the middle and the maximum. I'm not going to include this number, so I'm going to work my way in. Between 5 and 5, okay? Well, between 5 and 5 is 5, and I'm going to work my way in. Okay, between 9 and 9, which is 9. Okay, all right, so I got my 5-number summary. Okay, now I'm going to turn that into a box and whisker plot. Now, the way that we're going to do that is use a number line. Okay, and as you can see, each one of these values gets a point on our number line. Okay, so there's going to be 5 points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I'm going to do that down here. And it's going to become a rough sketch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, go back to full screen here so you can see what I'm doing. So there is my lovely number line. Okay, and first I want to put a dot over my minimum. Okay, right there. Over the 1. Then I want to put a dot over my median, 7. So I'm going to put a dot over there. Then I want to put a dot over my maximum. And then I want to go back and put a dot over my Q1, which is 5, and my Q3, which was 9. Okay? Now, here's what we're going to do. We're going to draw a box around this inner quartile range. Okay? Which means I'm going to put a line here on my median, and a line here, and a line here, and I'm going to draw a box. Okay? That's why we call it a box and whisker plot. There's a box around our inner quartile range. And then I'm going to draw a whisker out to the minimum, and then a whisker out to the maximum. Okay? There's my box and whisker plot. Okay? All right. Well, I'm probably going to make another video tomorrow about the next page. Thanks you guys for watching. Appreciate it.